Okay, welcome to today's webinar. Our topic today is New Year, New Beginnings. I'll say a little bit more about that in a moment, but let me first introduce who we are. For those of you that are not familiar, we are AMAC and the AMAC Foundation. AMAC is the Association of Mature American Citizens. We are the conservative alternative. And AMAC basically serves seniors primarily via its lobbying presence in Washington, advocating for seniors. Very active organization, very large organization, and getting larger every day. We are approaching 2.5 million members now, and as I said, growing very rapidly. So that's AMAC. AMAC Foundation, though, is the affiliate of AMAC. We are the nonprofit arm, or 501c3 nonprofit. We're headquartered here in Florida, in Lady Lake, Florida. And basically our mission is a very simple mission. It's to support and educate America's seniors. And we do that in a number of different ways. One of which is conducting seminars like we're doing today, webinars actually. We used to do a lot of face-to-face seminars, but with the COVID-19 situation, we're restricted to doing just virtual presentations like this. Hopefully, latter part of this year, we'll get back into the face-to-face seminars. At least that's what we hope. But we do seminars like this basically on a monthly basis. And we also operate a Social Security advisory service. That's our flagship program. We have 5 trained and accredited advisors that are equipped to handle questions from the public about Social Security. Very complex situation. People that are aging into Social Security have a lot of questions, and there aren't many places they can go to get a personalized answer. So that's the service that we provide. Everything that we do as a foundation is provided free of charge. There is no charge for anything that we do. And as I said, that's our flagship program. We serve upwards of more than 500 inquiries every month from the general public. So it's very busy. And people are really appreciative of the service. So that's our main service. And if you want to know more about AMAC, it's amac.us is their website. And the foundation's website is amacfoundation.org. So check us out. There's a lot of information on both sites about who we are and what we do. So I'd also like now to introduce our presenters for today. We are pleased to have with us Gloria Puerto Ivy and Christopher Shepard. They are VITAS representatives. VITAS is an organization that's actually countrywide. There are more than, VITAS has more than 40 years of experience in hospice care and is the nation's largest single source provider of end-of-life care. There are nearly 12,000 VITAS professionals providing care to over 19,000 patients daily throughout 14 states in the United States and the District of Columbia. And in addition to that, there are 4,800 trained VITAS volunteers who annually provide hundreds of thousands of hours of care to the people that VITAS serves. So as a large organization, we've been blessed with having a great relationship with VITAS locally. And we really appreciate their assistance on the seminars and webinars that we've done through the years. We've done a number now. Gloria is a Columbia native. She's a community educator for Lake and Sumter counties. And we're pleased to have her. She's done a number of these seminars and she's just a delight to work with. Chris is a longtime Florida resident, one of the few. It's kind of a joke us Floridians have. I'm not a longtime Floridian resident. I'm a transplant, but Chris has been in Florida for a long time. He's the volunteer services manager for Lake and Sumter counties, and he has a long history of recruiting and working with volunteers in community organizations and foundations. That's his forte, and he does a marvelous job at it. As I said, we worked with Chris and VITAS and Gloria on a number of projects, very significant projects, veterans-related projects, and then seminars and webinars. So we're really blessed at the relationship we have with them, and we appreciate it. Okay, today's subject, let me just read a quick narrative from our website. We all faced many difficult challenges in 2020, and I think that's probably a massive understatement. And we all look into 2021 looking forward to what it might bring. Some with trepidation, some with optimism. But after 2020, everyone's kind of looking at 2021, basically saying things got to get better. So while we're still sort of early in the year, we're providing this seminar. It's going to provide tools to assist in your personal journey as 2021 unfolds. The material that we're presenting, that Gloria is going to present, will focus on the theme of taking better care of yourself so that you can take better care of business. And we're pleased once again to have our friends at Vitas Healthcare with us. And we're using Zoom. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer hosting responsibility.
You actually don't need to transfer. I am already have the chair bottom here. So if you don't, don't.
Okay, then take it away.
Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to see you 2021. Carol and Leilene and Chris. Yeah, definitely is really, really, really true what you say. You know, everybody's expecting 2021 and you're like, oh, it's finally, right? But it's too early, and unfortunately, it's still challenging to come for sure. And that's why okay, you know what, Carol? I think I need you to give me access. Yes, you're right. I have the bottom, but I don't have the access. So if you want me to be, I'm apologize for that.
Okay, I'm going to promote you to host.
Thank you. Here we go.
Okay, now you should be able to share.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
All right. So our topic today, it's New Year, New Beginnings. It's a self-care time. It's how we actually see ourselves and how we can achieve what we really want, especially when a new year start, right? And like I say, this year is like everybody hoping that 2021 arrive. And the reality is that after 2020, we can say anything can be better, right? We kind of go to the bottom of multiple things happening, and a lot of loss, a lot of hard times. I think everybody, in one way or another, actually get affected for this pandemic and well, multiple things that can be very disruptive ourselves. And what we are seeing in the industry that we we're a hospice service provider. And what we find out is the more people are getting into a chronic disease because the level of stress that they have, because most of the time this chronic disease go related with our emotions, they go worse, that turn into a terminal ill condition. And the reality is right now that we need to understand that we can have definitely a new year, but they have to be new beginnings. They have to we need to understand that we need to put things in our side to keep like moving forward. So you probably can see this quote say the best time for a new beginning is now. And it's true. It doesn't matter if it's already, a month and a half in the year. You're like, you're not gonna wait until January 1st, 2022 to start something new, right? It doesn't matter the time. Where it's important is the time is now. Another quote is, you are never too old to set another goal or a dream, a new dream. And sometimes we find a lot of people that, no, I'm too old for that. Oh, I've been this way all my life, I'm not gonna change. However, it's always more next day and better than yesterday, right? So if you see this quote, there is more that to you than yesterday, it's because it's a new day, and every day is a new opportunity. I have another one. One day or day one. I start my diet on Monday. It's one day, right? It's always a one day. We need to start thinking more day one. Day one. When we're gonna start? 1 year is 365 days. 365 new beginnings. Do you think about that? It's every day, every morning, you have new opportunities to do better. You're allowed to change, right? You need to allow yourself to do changes that actually give you a better quality of life. And all about our company is that quality of life. Always believe something wonderful is about to happen. Yeah. And stop making excuses. Just do things. I have multiple excuses to start the diet, believe me. But you need to begin. It's not too late to change direction if you're not at peace with the life you have now. Don't put a deadline in your happiness. And that's very important. But where to start, right? When we talk about self-care and when we talk about making changes and do better for our lives, and maybe think, okay, 2020 teach me that actually I have to do better for my health, better for myself. So where to start, right? Well, the first thing that we need to start is the self-care isn't selfish. Oh no, if I think just me, is just like, oh no, I have to put others in front of me. I have to do better. I have to be a giver. I have to be a fixer. But actually, what you need to understand that you cannot be a giver. You cannot love anybody if you don't love yourself first. It's like a famous quote, right? When in the airplane, what is the first thing that they say to you? In case of emergency, put your oxygen first and then help others. So this is a very important thing. So what is self-care, right? Well, I find this acronym very interesting. So let me show you. Self. So we start with this. Speaking kindly to yourself. How many times we find ourselves saying, "Oh my God, I'm so dumb. Oh, I forget. I can. I just always the same," right? Well, we need to understand how important it is to speaking kindly to yourself. Exercising your body and your mind. It's so important to train your mind, and I will talk about that a little bit later. Do you know that, well, new studies, because so far we know that a human being have around 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts every day. However, new studies show that actually new thoughts are around 6,000. Other ones are commenting things or things that you do, but not necessary a new thought, right? But the part of exercising your body and your mind is that sometimes our mind can play a very important role in order to exercise our body. And just as an interesting notation, 80% of those thoughts are negative, and 90% are repetitive. So what happened is that we start believing what we thought. So if we thought that we cannot do it, So we're not doing it. I'm not disciplined enough to wake up at 6 in the morning and go to the gym, right? But you repeat it so much, you at the end will believe it and you quit even before you started. Letting yourself laugh and cry. So we go S, E, L. Letting yourself laugh and cry. Sometimes it's important to allow yourself that that tears. You need it. Allow it. And laugh as well. I laugh for myself all the time. And I love to work with Christopher because we have this kind of role. As you notice, I have strong accent. So he play a really nice role with me, like Lucy, right? And sometimes he just correct me with a loving way. And I just have to laugh myself. And sometimes I really say really wrong words without intention. But he always there.
You do better than I would in Spanish.
That is very important. Well, let's do F. Focusing on being positive, and I talk a little bit about that with our thoughts and how important it is. Now we have care. C, connecting deeply with others, especially in this time. 2020 was like a year of disconnect. It was a year of isolation. It was a year where everything changed. And we talked about this before the webinar start, and it was like, wow, I mean, as much that we want to connect, it's not the same when you're doing in person than when you're doing on the computer, or when you are trying to just on the phone, or just, we need to keep connected no matter how. We as a human need that personal connection in order to survive. And connecting deeply with others is to have compassion as well. Is know that, yeah, like everybody is in the same boat and we need to make that connection and deeper connection with what others are experiencing. Appreciating what you have. Oh, wow. This is what 2020 teach everybody. Appreciate what you have. Our health, right? Our friends, our families. We give it for granted, give a hug. And now many of us missing the hugging so much. So be appreciative of what you have. Are for resting, relaxing, restore. I don't know if our stress management video is still on the website, but if you want to learn a little bit about stress management and how important it is to take that time for resting, relaxing, and restore, go back to that video and you will learn a lot. And you will laugh too. All right. Keep eating well to nourish your body. Wow. So much secrets in this just word self-care, right? But the reality is that probably we know all of this. We probably are experts on, but how much of those things, or how many of those things we apply every day? Probably not many, right? So let's talk about self-care tools. And the tools are divided by the types of self-care you have. So we have physical self-care, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So this is kind of a self-care routine that I highly recommend. First of all, make a list of self-care ideas. That means in each aspect, each type, you should have listed ideas. So let's read here. Physical, you can go stretch, exercise, eat healthy, a spa day. And by the way, a spa day can be really, really expensive if you want to do it expensive, but really, really kind of cheap if you want it as well. It's all about the resources that you utilize. So if you remember, you can go to one of these stores that everything is $1. I don't want, I don't want to mention brands, but you can find things for $1. You can find a really nice, a couple of candles, and you can have a lotion. You can actually put some aromatherapy, and you can give that love that you just need. Pampering yourself, right? The water intake, the amount of water that, and we have that video as well, another webinar about talking about water intake and the important to be hydrated. So go back to those. The other type of self-care is the mental one. So how we take care of that? Well, we can do it through socializing, creativity, hobbies, books, affirmations, learning something new. So you are doing a great thing when you come to these webinars because you're learning something new. But by the way, help with your neurons in your brain. So every time you learn something, it's a new connection in your brain that will help the health of your brain. So thank you very much. I give you a lot of neurons today. Emotional. You can use therapy. You can be honest with yourself. You can actually say no and learn how to say no. Have some boundaries and know when to cross that line and say, hey, you know what? This is a line that I'm not crossing and not allowed you to cross neither. Self-talk. Sometimes, you know, you look in the mirror and you should talk to yourself. It sounds crazy, but sometimes it's not. It's actually something that you need to do because it's part of being honest and it's part to realize how important it is to listen to yourself. Laughter, we know about that. I already told you how important it is to, and that's actually a laugh therapy. So sometime we can do something about that topic, like laugh therapy. Spiritual. The spiritual obviously will depend on your beliefs and what you want to do and what make you have that connection. Prayers, deep breath, and Chris have an amazing tool with that in a minute. Journaling, just write it down, write it what you feel, how you feeling. I like to recommend the gratitude journal. So every night when you go, before you go to sleep, you can actually write at least one or two things that was good in that day, something that you really are grateful for. And when you're down, when you really feel like nothing is going good, go back to your journal and actually review all the good things that are happening in your life. Meditation, yoga, mantra, and you can combine multiple of these things during time. So when you have this bunch of ideas, then you can create your own. So you can create a list that say my self-care ideas. So if it's anything else that you feel that you can put on, you actually can add it. And then you create my self-care routine. So then you see, okay, of all these ideas and all these types of, you know, areas that I need to work with, let's do it a routine that helps daily, weekly, monthly. And it's the way that you're actually planning, right? Every 3 weeks or every week or every month, you can actually put together your routine. And then that's gonna make a big difference and have that as a habit for your. So an example of that is this self-care checklist. So you can actually put a list together and say, hey, I'm gonna work out 10 minutes. I'm gonna have 5 minutes of mindfulness, spend time, like really think, what is this? in your mind? What is that thoughts that make you feel down? And you can as well like spend time outdoors. It's part of exercise, it's part of relaxing, it's part of having that time to meditate or pray. Stay hydrated. How much water do you need? It's actually what it's it's based on a lot of things. It's based on your weight, it's based on your age, it's based on where you are located. So take in consideration what is the needs of your body, and then you put it there. Work towards a passion, something that you really like it, something that you wanted. Can be you know, volunteer somewhere, have someone that this project that you always wanted, painting or something that really moves your passion, no matter your age, no matter what position you are, no matter if you are retired or you're still working, or keep something that make your passion alive. Eat a healthy meal. I'm not saying that you can, have chocolate here and there and have like my fries with my ice cream. Sometimes, it sounds horrible, but it's my comfort food. Okay, don't judge. French fries and ice cream, that's funny. But once in a while, it's important to allow yourself to do that. And you might. And this is a self-care checklist. This is something that you can put together, you can have in your calendar. You can feel, and you will actually feel you're achieving, that you go towards what you really want to do. When we're talking about new year, new beginnings, we're talking about small steps that bring you where you want to be. What is your goals in your health? What is in your goals in your relationships? What is your goals? And I find people saying, I'm not planning anything because look at what happened, and I'm really have a sour taste on planning anything because I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, what is gonna happen is you're gonna get into frustration, and you're gonna allow those thoughts to, instead to be 80%, run your 100%, and that is not gonna be healthy at all. So everything that you fear of, oh yeah, I don't planning because I don't know if I'm gonna get sick, I'm gonna lose someone, I'm gonna do this, that. So all that is start running your life, and at the end, that's what's gonna happen because it's what you are thinking about too much. So that's why take your time to do what makes your soul happy. Take your time to do what makes your soul happy. It's so important to do this because at the end of the day, you are the architect of your life. So whatever you decide is what you want, that's what it's gonna go through. And this second part is amazing. It's the second tool that we can see. And Chris have this amazing tools that you can use in a specific topic that is very important. And this is the self-care tools, breathing with intention. So go back to you, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you so much. I loved everything you said there. There's so many wonderful components. And if we just do one of those things you mentioned, something new, what a difference it will make in our lives. Even though I was thinking about the one, play a favorite song. That's one part of our brain that we never lose, even if we have the most severe form of dementia. We can always connect to music, especially music that we love. It's so important. It changes the outlook for the day. So thank you very much, Gloria, for setting the foundation for this next part. They all go together. You can see there, it's been said that the adult human being breathes an average of 16,000 quarts of air every day. I don't know who measured that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I can tell you this.
It is.
Based on I just figured it might be 16,001 or something, I don't know. But anyway, and it probably depends on how much, what your rate of breathing is or whatever. I believe you, Gloria. But what's true is that as long as we live, there is only one thing that we will always do. and that's breathe. The moment we stop breathing, we cease to exist on this earth. So breathing is it. We will always breathe. We may not be able to smile. We may not be able to be aware of everything that's around us, but we'll always breathe. And there's some things that we need to do intentionally with that breathing. And the next slide is about just when we wake up. You know, when we wake up, we're breathing. Now, if you're like me, you may wake up, and I used to do this in the past. I don't do it anymore. But I would wake up and hit the ground running. I would be thinking about everything I need to do through the day, and I would already have the goals and everything planned out. I still do that. I have all my clothes ready for the next day, even on Saturday before I go to bed. I have everything set out how I'm going to hit the ground. But, you know, the best thing, and I found this to be true for myself in a crisis that I went through a number of years ago, the best thing that you can do to begin your day is to just be still. Just to lie in bed for a little bit and be aware of your surroundings. Take some time to breathe. And it gives a suggestion there to pause for 3 seconds. Put your lips together. Breathe in and breathe out. I think the main point there is to be conscious of your breathing. You don't have to count 1, 2, 3, but to be conscious of your breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. It will calm you for your day. It will actually focus your thoughts. It will kind of set the pace. So all these things that we're going to give you, don't feel like that you have to do them all starting tomorrow, but you might take one of them, one of the things that Gloria gave, and say, I'm going to work on this. You might take one of the things that we're giving you now in this next part of our seminar. I'm going to choose this to work on every day. Any one of them will be great and will make a difference for you and will give you a new start, a new day. And if you fail one day, if you fail 10 days, it's all right to go back and say, I'm going to start again, because guess what? You're always breathing, which means that you can always start anew. Our second one there, and Gloria referred to this, is gratitude. Do you know that every major world religion stresses gratitude? They all have differences, but that's something that all of them have in common. And it's so easy to lose sight of the power of gratitude. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to connect with one of America's leading experts on gratitude. And we got to spend quite a bit of time on the phone chatting about different things, and especially about gratitude. And what he's found is that is gratitude he considers to be the life changer for everyone. No matter what you're experiencing in your life, if it's a health crisis, if it's a crisis of health of someone that you're close to, your partner, your spouse, if it's a financial downturn, if it's just fear of being overwhelmed by the coronavirus or everything that's going on in the world and our nation, gratitude can change the pace, your outlook of what's happening. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'm so grateful. I've had the opportunity to travel around the world, and I've never had the opportunity to go to the places really that people go, like Paris. I've been in the Paris airport, but that's it. Or all these other places that people love to go. I've been in some of the world's most terrible places that people consider awful. And it's changed my perspective on everything. Because in all of those places of the most abject poverty and everything that is going on around a person, I've seen deep gratitude. And that gratitude creates an atmosphere in those places among the people that experience it where their poverty actually becomes their riches. They're poor in spirit, so you've probably heard that phrase, but they are rich in heart. So the best thing that I found to begin a day, and maybe you found this, I've talked with other people. Gloria talked about ending her day. It doesn't matter when you do it. Personally, I do it at the beginning, but just to spend a few moments actually in the dark practicing gratitude. What are you grateful for? I can tell you the days that I don't practice gratitude, and gratitude is a practice, my outlook on that day is vastly different than the days that I do intentionally practice gratitude. It doesn't matter. We have so much, as Gloria referred to. We have toothbrushes. So many people don't. We have clean drinking water. We may not like the taste, but it's clean. We have so many things. And just to practice gratitude about anything, the most small to the biggest, will change our outlook. And then this is a great one about positive affirmation. And it doesn't matter what the affirmation is. You can create your own positive affirmation, but just to write it down and focus on a positive affirmation for a month. You may focus on it for a year or a week or whatever. You may write a different one every day, but write it down. Gloria referred to that, and then say it out loud. If you just do that one time a week, you'll be amazed at what that will do to you. You know, whatever you believe about the world and everything that is in it, it's really amazing, isn't it, that we're here and we're able to function like we are? It says something's going on here. We have such a gift before us. So create your own affirmation and figure out and embrace it. Breathe a little bit while you read it. Be conscious of your breathing while you read that affirmation. Practice some gratitude and see what that does to you. Number 4, if you've ever had a dog or a cat or any kind of pet, even a snake, you'll notice that they stretch. They love to stretch. Before a dog or a cat will get up, what do? If they've been lying down? They stretch. Stretching is very good for your physical health. They say, and I believe this, that one of the best things that you can do before you get up in the morning is to stretch out in bed. Stretch your toes and your arms and just stretch and breathe, because it does something for your physical system. I'm not a doctor, but if you look at nature, the animals do it. Why wouldn't we? And, you know, be so conscious of your posture. You know, one of the things that all of us know is that as a person gets older, when they walk, they tend to look down more. And also, as they tend to look down more, their shoulders tend to stoop more. So if you're there, it's, you know, sometimes that's because of some physical condition we have or whatever. So it's okay, but do your best whenever you can, whether it's sitting or whether it's moving about, to have your very best posture, because it's very good for your breathing. It's good for your entire physical system. Practice good posture. If you have a grandchild, tell them, practice good posture, because it makes all the difference in how then what their outlook is for the day. And then this is so important, fresh air. It's so important to be aware of the air that we breathe. So when we go outside for lunch or have to go out to the car at work or we're at home, spend as much time as you can outside. Even if you're in a cold climate, just step outside for a minute or two and breathe in some deep breaths of fresh air. And see if you can try that breath count. 4 breaths, count to 4 in and 5 out. It reinvigorates you. It's good for you. Another thing that's very good for you with this is open your windows in your house. Don't just leave them closed all year with the AC or even in the winter. Open them up for a minute, because that fresh air coming into your house is good for you, what you breathe. It's good for your environment. And then the next one is there. Gloria, if you can take that up. And you referred to this, drink water. Research says that the coronavirus starts in your mouth, and I don't know whether the bacteria, the coronavirus, is killed with lemon water or vinegar, but water is good for you, and it is proven that lemon water and vinegar do kill bacteria. So do that. Take a daily swig of that. Swish it in your mouth before swallowing. It's good for your oral hygiene. And Gloria already referred to how important it is to drink water. Now, this one is funny to me because I cannot dance. I have no rhythm.
Oh,
if I ever go to some place, if I ever go to some place where they're clapping to the music and to the beat, the rhythm, I can't do it. I have to watch everyone around me, and I'm probably a few seconds behind, but I have to kind of, but I tell you what I do. Just because I don't have rhythm doesn't mean I can't dance. So every weekend, there's some time during the weekend, I listen to music a lot, but and I don't really play Lionel Richie, but I listen to all kinds of music. But I just listen to music and I just jump around the house. I just have fun moving around, and usually no one's there, but I like it and I have fun. I was doing that one time in my house, and I had all the windows open. I was jumping around, and a friend popped in unexpectedly. And there I was just going, and he had a good time, but I was embarrassed. But I'll tell you that as you move, it doesn't matter how little you move or how much. As you move and you move to music, it will be good for you. It will be good for your spirit. It will be good for your mind. It will be good for your body. And it's so interesting. The world religions often talk about dance. So all of these things are principles that we've had throughout the ages for thousands of years, many of them. And I encourage you to just pick even one and practice. Our last quote here is, and if you'll put it up, Gloria, thank you so much for doing all this. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. So it's not about beating ourselves up if we start one of these things and then we realize that we've forgotten we haven't done it for 8 weeks. It doesn't matter. Just do it again, because tomorrow's a new day. You know the famous quote with Gone with the Wind, tomorrow is another day. And the self-care is about self-love. You know, it's been said that we can't really love each other well until we learn to like and love ourselves. And sometimes we find plenty of things to dislike about ourselves, but there's so much to love about ourselves. So as you take your breaths throughout the day, just be conscious of some of these things that we've shared with you. And we're so appreciative of being able to be here with you today and share these things that have made a difference in our own lives. Thank you.